What's up, friends? Just wanted to give a quick video here. Nothing big, nothing catchy, nothing flashy. Well, here, I'll give you an intro song. There you go. There's your flashy, catchy intro song for the video. I wanted to talk a little bit about wisdom and discernment today, and understanding. I've been getting up super early lately. I'm trying to get more into the Word. But on top of also, I'm getting into the Word. I'm always watching my favorite preachers across the country, and we'll get to that in a second, and individuals who comment on Christian and spiritual matters. But I'm also a news junkie. I love reading the news, hearing commentators on the news. When you all are posting stuff online, either left, right, or center, I love reading it. I love seeing what's going on in the world, staying up to date. And I'm going to be doing more videos kind of like this, but more content. I got up early because I do want to start doing more content, more music, things like that. Quick call to action here. If y'all are watching this anywhere but YouTube, please go to YouTube. Please subscribe to the C.W. Schindler page. Hit the notification bell. Comment on the videos that you like. Let me know what you're thinking. Feed the algorithm. I'm really going to try and start getting my YouTube channel going. So it's C.W. Schindler over at YouTube. Please subscribe over there. So I'll be getting more and more stuff out here, I hope, as time allows, and as my son waking up earlier and earlier allows. But for today, I wanted to give a quick video talking about, again, wisdom, discernment, knowledge, things like that. I've been led in this past week really to Proverbs. I love the book of Proverbs. I think even if you're not a Christian, there is so much in Proverbs that is just so meaningful and awesome to follow. So, love Proverbs. If you haven't been in there for a while, go ahead and check it out. Check out the awesome sayings that Solomon has to talk about. It's a great book. But I came across this, and we'll get to current events and discernment and knowledge of what's going on in a minute. But I wanted to point out a few highlights here. So in the first chapter, he ends the first section with, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." Fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So that awesome, respectful awe that we have of God and what he's capable of is the beginning of knowledge. And that's kind of woven throughout. So obviously we go into anything with fear of the Lord. And here specifically he's talking about fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. That's all good and well. Let me point out a few highlights here for you. So in Proverbs 16:21, "The wise in heart are called discerning, and gracious words promote instruction." We go to 17:28. "Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues." Shut up and listen. Shut up and watch, basically, right? 18:15. "The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out." Discernment. I looked at the definition of discernment. There's a lot of spiritual definitions of discernment, but the baseline description of discernment that I came across, if you're just looking at a totally objective, simple way of looking at it, is having good judgment, being able to figure out what is truth, what is fiction, what is just a bunch of gobbledygook, what is actual knowledge. We need to be doing that more and more in this day and age, because here's the problem, and again, I point out social media and just the mainstream media. Narratives are absolutely polarized right now. I used to say that this nation was divided. It's not. Polarized is the better word. There is a spectrum, and we are polarized on it. Specifically around politics, let's just be real here. If the right says this, the left says the polar opposite. If the left says this, the right says the polar opposite. So what do we as Christians do in that situation? We kind of have to discern. We have to discern what's going on. We have to take that step back and take an objective look at what's going on. I've had my arguments in the comment sections too, and that's all good and well. We can do that. But if you're devoting all of your time to a specific narrative and promoting that only, and not taking that objective look and not thinking about what the bigger picture may be, and you're focused on just battling whatever the polar opposite narrative is, you're not really seeking wisdom. You're not trying to discern. You're not looking for knowledge. You're just polarized and fighting. Let me take one specific example of why this might be a problem. So, current events right now. You may have heard about the mail-in voting issue, right? So, what does the left say? The left says Trump is saying that this is going to be a disaster. He's not going to believe the election results. He's going to manipulate the election. He's not really going to win, but he's going to say he did, and he's not going to leave, and we're not going to believe what he says or the election results because he's manipulated them. So we're not going to accept it. What does the right say? Again, polar opposite. Trump says that that there's so many issues with voter fraud. It's not going to be an accurate count. We're not going to accept it. We're not going to accept the results of this election. Now, if you're in the narrative and you've picked your polarized side, you're now going, I'm going to latch onto this. I'm just going to battle whatever else someone says. If you're discerning what's going on, if you are taking that objective step back and discerning what all is going on, you're going, these guys are saying they're not going to accept the election results. These guys are saying they're not going to accept the election results. Come November, we might have a bit of a problem, right? We might have a big problem. And I've heard more independent commentators say this, dude, we're getting set up for an election that no one is going to believe. The biggest election in America in one of the most contentious times in American history. Again, come November, mark my words, we're going to have a problem. There's going to be a problem, man. Add to that the fact that we have seen protests across the nation, many which have devolved into riots, some of which have lasted for over 69 days. We are seeing the police attacked. We are seeing the defunded. We're seeing people just against the police, against any protection, against possible disasters that may be coming. We've seen escalations with China, which is surprisingly not being talked about all that much. Kind of have to dig for that information, but there have been serious escalations with China lately. And that whole pedophile thing going on. You may have seen that. And don't get me wrong, I am so glad that we are finally talking about human trafficking. For so long, that was an unsexy topic. And you'd hear that in the nonprofit world. It was so hard for anti-human trafficking nonprofits to get funding and to get out there and talk because it was an unsexy topic. But now, thank God, it's finally being talked about. But we're seeing the exposure of high-end people, slow but sure, being exposed for this. Potentially high-end pedophile rings. And then as we talk about human trafficking more and more, we're just seeing the dark, disgusting underbelly of this. So much is being exposed, so much is going on, and if you're polarizing to one side and sticking to one particular source's narrative, you're missing it, man. Now more than ever. Where was it here? Where was it? Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Even fools, if we just be quiet for a second, take a step back and look at what is going on from an objective view, try to discern what's going on, man. That's what we need to be doing with fear of the Lord, of his respect of his amazing abilities, looking at where he may be moving in this world, where his power may be moving. And there's a lot going on. And I also want to say this because with that bigger picture that we can see in certain, topics and stories, there's an even bigger picture, I think, that might be going on. Never, as much of a news junkie as I am, like I said, I'm always watching my favorite pastors and preachers and individuals, Christian, spiritual individuals, whatever you want to call it, prophets, things like that. I'm always watching them as well. And I can tell you right now, my friends, never before in my entire life have I heard so much talk of the end times. Never. Across the board. I'm not talking about radical people who are always focused on end times and crazy prophecies. I'm talking about just average dudes getting online, doing a quick video saying, I've been having dreams nonstop about crazy stuff that's coming and the possible end. I've been seeing pastors who I've never heard talk about the end times so extensively talking about it. I've been hearing the prophetic community light up, and not like the crazy prophetic screaming, yelling, random stuff just seems to be spitting out of their mouth. I'm talking about more average, down-to-earth dudes who pay attention to what's going on around them and making either predictions or prophecies. I've never heard about the end times happening. So much I haven't heard it talked about in a while like this, man. Is it the end? I don't know. The day and the hour is unknown, right? But what I can tell you is this. Something big is coming, man. Something big is coming. Whether I'm talking November and no one accepts the election results, and I've heard talk about civil wars. I've heard talks about invasion of China and Russia. I've heard talks about Jesus coming back, the rapture, Armageddon. I've heard it all, man. I don't know what exactly is to come. I'm not a prophet. I don't have these awesome visions that some people seem to have. But I can tell you, I watch the news and I hear what other Christians are saying. Something big is coming, my friends. So, that said, now is not the time to be polarized into our echo chambers and fighting. Now is the time to be discerning what is going on around us, seeking wisdom, seeking knowledge, seeking truth, and preparing for whatever's to come. So, my friends, I hope that you take a big step back and really try to discern what's going on in the world today, this week and going forward. Seek wisdom. Have that strong fear of the Lord in your heart. Bless the rest of your week. God bless you and your families, and God bless this nation with everything that's going on, man. We'll see what happens, but as I've said before, pray for this nation. Keep your loved ones tight, close, hugged, love them. Watch out, discern, seek wisdom, fear the Lord. God bless you, friends. Have a great rest of your week.